Good afternoon. My name is Chantal Brewster, and I have just a few persons here with me who were recently featured on the Rosehill Show. And I have Kailashi. Kai, come on in. How are you doing, Kai?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am great. And what do you think about the Rosehill Show?
I think the show was actually really great when it was on it. I think it's serving its purpose of, giving those persons that don't have a voice, a voice, right?
Yes.
Being on that show, it was great, man.
And how was your experience then, other than great?
It was exciting, right? It was exciting. Just being in that environment, especially as an entrepreneur, in an interview, it brings things, to life. It was real. I love that for sure, right? And I think it's going to really impact mental individuals as well.
And there you have Kailashi, one of our featured guests on the Rosehill Show. And Kai, if you could describe the show in one word, what would it be?
One word. I would say impactful.
Nice. Impactful.
I'm Caroline Bradshaw Green.
Hello, my name is Veronica Eversley.
My name is Pastor Linda Jones, and I've been on the Rosehill Show. It's been an exciting evening discussing the issues that are impacting women.
It's not only informative, but also thought-provoking.
What was impressive for me was the engaging host that we had and how he made us feel very comfortable. Continue to tune in.
On Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
You are watching the Rosehill Show.
Well, good evening once again. We do apologize. These things are not always as easy as they should be. And some technical difficulties, but we have some people who are working on those, and we got those sorted out. So we are here with you to produce an amazing show, to present you an amazing show tonight. What we will be talking about is what is going on the ground. There's a lot of politics and political arguments and philosophies in the air, etc. But what is really going on in the ground amongst the youth, amongst the homeless, those who frequent the streets? What is going on the ground? And I have some individuals who are going to be talking to us today about what they're hearing on the ground and how the economic climate is impacting those who are less fortunate, the most vulnerable in the society. They're going to be talking to those individuals who are really have their ears to the ground, who are connected to those individuals. In addition to that, we're going to be, talking some different things about politics and what I think maybe where the elections will swing or not. But we're going to have an exciting show for you tonight. Before we get into that, I want to remind you, as I did last week, about Star Chick's special. Mr. Clark doing some amazing work there in St. Lucie. Special offer today: whole chicken for $15, 2-pack legs for $7.50 is right here. 2-pack breast for $7.50, 4-pack legs for $15. This is an amazing deal. 4-pack breast for $15, 2-pack of thighs. Let me get that right. $14. 3-packs of thighs for $18. So whole chicken, you can get your whole chicken from Star Chick for $15, and I'll talk a bit more about that when we come on to the end of the program. But once again, we're going to be having some exciting guests, 4 young people whose ears are to the ground and who are hearing what is going on in Barbados, and we're going to be hearing from them in a couple of seconds. So stay tuned. Listen, share the video. Get on your phone. Tell your friends that it's going to be a explosive and dynamic session today at Rosehill Talks Politics. So see you in a couple of minutes when we talk to some exciting and interesting guests. Okay, God bless you.
Good afternoon. My name is Chantal Brewster, and I have just a few persons here with me who have recently been featured on the Rosehill Show. Antonia, step on in. I have here Antonia Williams. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. What do you think about the Rosehill Show?
I think the Rosehill Show is a very good avenue for people to display their businesses. For example, if you are a hairdresser, it's a good avenue to have a voice and show people what you can do.
Yes. And how was your experience on the show?
I had a great experience where I was able to display my my entrepreneurship skills via my stepping stones, lawn maintenance, and giving people a voice on how to take care and maintain their property.
Nice. And there we have Antonia Williams, one of our featured guests on the Rosehill Show. And Antonia, if you could describe the show in one word, what would it be?
Well, one word is limited, but I would say that the show is explosive.
Explosive.
I'm Pastor Dr. Kathy Nova Rochester, and as an HR practitioner, I see the issues within corporate Barbados where companies really need to start to look at more family-oriented policies to encourage women to be able to be at work, to be productive, but be able to still live that balanced work life. Rosehill, talk politics. This has been the Rosehill Show.
Well, we are here with these wonderful young people. How are you guys doing? You guys are good?
Good, yeah.
Yeah, all is well? Good. You guys look good on set.
Thank you.
We're going to jump right into it and just introduce you to the people tonight. Letting you know, guys, listen, Star Chick is giving away some chickens. It's an amazing price. Whole chickens. Well,
and Mr. Claire
could better be.
$15 big.
$15 for a whole chicken is almost free.
Wow. Mark took me up there last week or week before. Could not believe
I just want you guys to make sure you speak up. Yeah, it's amazing. He's doing amazing things. So, whole chicken, if you want to get your whole chicken, $15. So we have with us tonight, as I said, some amazing young people whose ears are to the ground. I want to do a program, and all of this is connected to politics, where we kind of get a sense as to what is going on in the communities, on the blocks, in their particular, the people that they come in contact with. So we're going to be talking to them tonight. First and foremost, we have Kemar Saffrey. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man.
President and founder of the Barbados Vagrant and Homeless Society. He has an amazing resume. One of the things that will jump out at you is that he is, I think we can probably call you a serial entrepreneur. You start a lot of businesses. Yes, a young man. Successful entrepreneur, an avid businessman, motivational speaker, minister of the gospel, philanthropist. I don't think I've ever met many philanthropists your age. Yeah. Youth activist and a highly self-motivated yet humble individual who is willing to bring any idea from concept to reality with measured success, and I can tell you that is the truth. Chairman and CEO of Saffrey's Inc., a group of company which owns Classy Look, the Saloon, Sunday Funday Ice Cream Parlor. How's business?
Business not so good. The economy having it. Take all the ice cream prices get inflating all the time. So
yeah, so we'll talk about business and all those other kind of things, etc. K&K Kitchen Cleaning Services, Saffrey Equipment, some rentals, sell marketing, Barbados Saffrey's NGO. You know when you call your business list, you gotta take a breath. I like that. You're a very successful person. Saffrey is also the owner of Chill's Delight Treats Ice Cream Parlor. I say all these things so that people would know when they go in and support any of these businesses, that's it. They're supporting a person who is committed to seeing the homeless have a better life. His awards attained at national, regional, and most recently international level include the Commonwealth Youth for Excellence in Development Work Award in 2012, certified in workshops in 2013, visited Her Majesty's Queen Elizabeth II in 2012. How was that?
humbling feeling.
Humbling feeling. And you got a chance to go there as well.
Yeah, man.
Good stuff. We'll talk about those things. And it goes on and on with you. People's Choice of the Year 2015, Nation Gym of Barbados 2016. Your awards go on and on and on and on and on. Tyler, how are you, sir?
Blessed, my brother.
Yeah, I keep saying that as I met you for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Continue to be very impressed as to the kind of person, the character that you have, and I believe that you're going to go very, very far in Barbados. I see that. And Barbados needs to hear your voice as it's hearing these other young people's voice. Imran, can I still call you young?
Yeah, man.
Good.
Yeah,
Okay.
still young, brother.
You just didn't want to get there and then be in trouble.
If Roger was here, that would be a different story.
If who?
Roger.
Please, Roger's a wedding recital, a wedding rehearsal. So he told the office that. I hope I got that right, Roger, because he's probably watching. So Tyler is a youth advocate who speaks on the impact of gang violence and how to have a positive outlook on life. You were here a couple of weeks ago, did an amazing job. Dropped out of school and ended up on the block. Then realized he needed to educate himself, which he did. Got kicked out of the house and ended up living in an abandoned hotel, which motivated him, incidentally, to improve himself and to speak to others about his circumstances. And currently, Tyler is managing a barber shop, but more importantly, running for politics to change the life of young people across the nation. Shamelle Rice, how are you, the wife of the fiery Anderson Rice? And you have a child together, daughter.
Yes.
Yeah, how is she?
Sweetest little thing, man.
Sweetest little thing. Yes. I think there's a song called Sweetest, but I've been saved so long I don't listen to those love tunes and things.
I'm sure.
Admittedly. UE degree in psychology and social work, which she is putting to great use at her initiative, which was founded in 2012 called Jabez House, which reaches out to female sex workers by empowering them. Former secondary school teacher. How was it teaching in secondary school?
It was a really good experience.
But your gray hairs are gone.
Yes.
Now that you've left.
Yes. Thanks.
Overwhelming desire to assist women, particularly those who are vulnerable and disempowered. We'll talk about that tonight. In 2014, she started a weekly mentorship program at the juvenile detention facility for girls to provide them with a support system when they leave, and she received the Queen's Young Leaders Award. Congratulations, Shamelle. Imran, is there anybody in Barbados that don't know you? I don't think so. If they are, they're probably living on a rock or just got deported from a faraway country, Zimbabwe. You know, they were up there with Mugabe. They should have left, but now they got deported. When we say Imran, they're like, who? Right. Imran Richards, Project Officer for Crime Stoppers Barbados. How is that going, sir?
Very well.
Good stuff. Youth leader, married. Listen, when I saw that, I almost thought married with 6 children. I was like, how did you do that already? Married to the wonderful Davida for 6 years. She's a wonderful person.
She is.
5 years going on 6.
5 years going on 6. How is it going?
Oh, marriage is incredible, man. It's a journey. I always tell individuals, marriage, you know, you have ups and downs. What is important is ensure that you have more ups than downs. You know?
Especially as a man.
Especially. Let me tell you.
Oh, but look, listen, the Spirit of the Lord just came into the room and there was a big revelation, you know. It took time for people to get it. I saw the wave. You go ahead first, and then Shamelle was like, yeah. She should have got it first because she has a child. You know, if Anderson was here, Anderson would have got that straight off the bat. He was like, yes, Apostle, they got that. Look, all right, we'll stay on track. Let's put on our Christian face. We don't talk about those things. Okay. International speaker focusing on leadership and personal development and has a heart for the youth and focusing on fatherlessness. I really appreciate you coming here because I know that you just came back into the island. So, you know, you hopped on the plane and came back, and you'll soon be having your private jet. You know, where you can, these things are not. Yes.
I received that. I borrow it. I received it.
Why are you gonna borrow it? Why are you gonna borrow his private jet? Oh, you're gonna swap.
You know, borrow it so you don't go buying.
You don't have to do what?
Save the money. Borrow it. That's a brother.
Big man, you can't even come near with me.
He has declared his hand. So you know, listen, he has declared his hand. So we are not. No. If we have a private jet, he will hear that we had a private jet. And we're telling Kemar. Kemar already has plans. Listen, Kemar is the type of person, right, that will take your private jet. He has such a large heart. He will take your private jet, and you will see your private jet. He's going to learn to fly. This is the type of man he is. He will learn to fly. You will see your private jet packed off for food, feeding the hungry in South Africa. He was like, how we get all that food on my plane? That's just the kind of man that he is. You know, he would just, he's not going to use it for luxury and go anywhere.
I would make sure he stays in South Africa.
For his own good. All right, guys. Well, good to have you on the show tonight.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I think it is an opportunity to have such a team together. And we really want to be talking tonight about keeping it real, what's happening on the ground. A lot of things are challenging in Barbados, but I want to really hear from you, and you can answer. Just have an interactive conversation tonight. What are you, as you go amongst the people, the young people, the old people, those who are disenfranchised, those who are homeless, what are you hearing them saying in this current economic climate? And we'll just talk. I just want us to talk tonight to get the people to have a sense as to what is going on in maybe the forgotten part of Barbados, because sometimes we pretend as though it's not there. So let's talk. What are you hearing as you go around? Any person can start the ball rolling.
I think generally everybody's just saying the same thing. It's rough, right? No, things hard. I mean, like those are the two words I feel as if I hear it the most. It's rough, things hard. There are people that would say, like they've never ever been in such a position. You have days that people have, and I'm just speaking from my clients as well. Days where people have nothing to eat. I mean, children hungry. Also,
who are your clients? I just want to get a sense.
So Jabez sells. We work with female sex workers, helping them transition, and we provide services to help with their empowerment while they're transitioning. But I think all around, even there are people who may say, "Well, you sure these women not making money?" But there are people that really are not making any money, even in something like prostitution.
Are you serious? Wow.
I mean, whatever is happening in the economy is going to affect what's happening on the streets. So if I'm not working anymore, or my hours got cut somehow, I don't have as much disposable income. So even if before, I would have been able to go and, I don't want to say splurge, but
this is why a business
people right now are having challenges.
Yeah, a business like ice cream would probably feel the brunt of it, because if people are having to rein in the way that they spend their finances, then those things that would be considered luxuries and not necessities, those are the first things that people are going to shave off.
Definitely.
Yeah, you see, the thing is, from my barbershop perspective, is that I face with a lot of youth who have nothing whatsoever.
What do you mean nothing?
Nothing whatsoever in terms of mentorship, in terms of limited finance, just for a providing purpose where you have a little bit to eat, as what I experienced when I was growing up. And the service that I provide is that these teenagers and these youngsters, I normally cut their hair free, so that they can go to school, go into society looking respectable. And then now, what really happens is that when you go into this society now, in terms of the street structure, it's just that the manipulation is so intense that it's very difficult to get out of that mindset. I'm speaking in perspective to the ghetto areas where I normally be in.
Are you seeing more youth on the street in the ghettos?
Yes, I'm seeing it becomes such of a recreational age. It's more like a recreational age, because what happened is that there are no other activities that encourage the youngsters, because social media is playing a very manipulating part. You will find the youngsters, they're more in tune to rap music, they're more like the Americanized culture, believing in all this materialistic things. And when it comes to the leadership and the mentorship, it's very lacking. So it becomes very easy to go into that department. As my girl can explain to you, because I have known and still have contact with some of the prostitutions that really goes on. There are two types. They are the internal and the external. And the ones who is out there are the ones who don't really have that kind of option. So there are mothers now who are actually having an internal business.
Are you seeing, Shamelle, are you seeing, I'm going to come to you, Kemar, in a second. Are you seeing more people ending up in prostitution?
Well, what I would say is sex work is really something, I think this is maybe what Taylor was probably trying to reference. You may be able to see somebody on the street and it might be easy. You may see a lot more non-nationals that way, so it's easy to just come and see a woman standing here. Whereas because people may be feeling it, there are a lot of persons then doing things behind the scenes. So a lot of more transactional type things. So I'm a woman, and let's say I'm Barbadian. I don't really want people to know, but I'm like East Point. They said if you open a newspaper, you go in the where they have all different ads, room for rent for hour and all these other things.
Yes.
I mean,
that's what
well, I don't know. I've never called, but why need a room for this for an hour for like? When you think about it, so you have persons then who are doing a lot of things just to get by. Then behind these. So I can't say you can physically see a rise, but just being on the ground, hearing people, that a lot more people are just sometimes doing what they feel they need to do, just to be able to make ends meet and put bread on the table and make sure their children are fed.
Exactly.
What about you, Kemar? What are you seeing and what are you hearing?
Well, judging from the fact that I'm already dealing with a community that have nothing. When you're hearing a community that have nothing saying that they have nothing, it's hard. Like they already have nothing, and they're coming and saying, well, look, the people that used to feed on the streets are dropping off. So they're not getting anything on this particular day or that particular day. Funny enough, we were at a feeding last week. It was last week, Friday. And for the first time in a long time, there was so much aggression to get something to eat. To get a slice, a cake. It's like somebody would run you over just to even give them the cake. So it ain't even about who in front of them, but you, they're just snatching. And you're sitting there wondering, like, seriously, like, why all this aggression? The numbers increase. You're seeing a man running.
So we're hearing that there are more people. The numbers are increasing.
Vast.
By what kind of percentages are we talking?
When we first started, as I said, I could go back to the years when I first started. We were at 30. We grew from 30 to 60 to 90 to 100, 120, and it's still picking up. And bear in mind that is only one feeder. That doesn't have anything to do with other feeders that are feeding on different lines that some of the people don't get to. We did a count in town and we were at 120. The women made up about 40 of that 120.
Are you seeing more ladies?
You're seeing an increase in ladies, and not necessarily. And the thing about ladies is that when they come for the food, they tell another lady and another lady come. So as they start to tell, then you get increase. If the food is nice, we see more people for that particular day. But it's just that you have a community that literally
we are talking
nothing.
Things that are happening as we speak.
Things that are happening as we speak. I said you're having the homeless that have nothing, saying it's harder to even get access to things. Welfare. A lot of them can't get welfare. Now to get food at the Salvation Army, we're hearing that you have to go out welfare to get a letter to qualify for food at Salvation Army.
Serious.
So things are just getting right.
Exactly.
For a lot of people.
So my question to him, I want to ask you this question, is that what do you believe that is the main cause of what really is happening now in your department?
For a lot of what we see is a lot of the economy playing a toll on a lot of people and how they are able to function. But I think that it goes back to leadership in a sense that there are a lot of people that are on the welfare benefits that are capable of going out there looking for work, which meaning if the welfare system has $2 million to distribute to a certain amount of person and there are new people coming, those new people that come in on the street or find themselves in that position are going to find it harder to receive anything because there are already money allocated to
the system is already burdened.
So the system is already burdened and overloaded. The circuit needs,
So basically, is the incompetence?
It's the incompetence of leadership to look at the different statutory organizations on the government and look at how then you can wean off people that are on welfare system.
But wean them off onto what?
Wean them. Listen, I hear that a lot, Apostle Coulthrust, and here's what the thing is: if you put together programs that can work in favor of these persons, for us, and we can boast on the fact that our organization survive at like 100% success in finding people a job, and these are homeless persons after we rehab them. If persons come and say, well, I want a job as a cook, I say, well, I can't find you a job as a cook, I can find you a job as a cleaner. You can work your way up to a cook. If the welfare system start to provide programs within and give people 6 months to get onto the system, we would retract you in 6 months, see where you are, have the social worker work with them to find the necessary programs, help, give them job training, whatever, then you can easily have them coming off the system.
Imran, you are seeing, what are you seeing as you connect with I know you connect with a lot of youth, but specifically you seem to have a heart for the young men, right? What are you seeing amongst the young men in the society? What are you hearing?
Yeah, I think there's a general frustration
Yeah.
with the lack of opportunities for a lot of young men. There are a lot of sincere young men that really want work. I must hasten to say, though, that there are a few individuals that want work until they get it.
Yeah.
So that there's still a sense of entitlement out there. There's still a sense of wanting handouts and wanting benefits without having to put in any kind of work. But there are definitely those young men who want work and want opportunities but are finding it extremely difficult. I get a number of WhatsApps on a daily basis from various young men across the length and breadth of Barbados asking me if I am aware of any job opportunities, or saying, Imran, keep your ears to the ground for me. I've been trying. There are some young men who walk because they may have money to get bus fare. They would walk. They would catch a bus to the top of St. Lawrence Gap, and they would walk the entire stretch from one hotel to the next, asking if there are any available jobs as porters, as cleaners, whatever they can get, walking from one construction site to the other. Yeah, this number is increasing. So that there are a number of young, so we have a number of issues, and I think a lot of it, as you guys would have mentioned, comes back to the economy, because this is not just a situation for maybe uneducated individuals. This is a situation that we are seeing across the board. I know so many university graduates who have been unable for years to find a job, or a job that really pays them based on their qualifications, you know? And so what they are earning is really tantamount to this low income existence when they went and studied for a number of years to have a bachelor's or a master's. So youth unemployment is something that is significantly high within Barbados and across the region, and this is something that we are seeing when unemployment is coupled with ignorance and poverty. Against that backdrop, it creates a recipe for violence, for crime, for all of that type of deviant activity, the increase in young men who are on the blocks, etc. So that there is a correlation between the deviance that we are seeing, because so many young men have a lot of time on their hands, and the economy, you know, the way that it is, that is playing a role in, just the level of recklessness that we are seeing in society.
Have our legislators, the persons that lead the country, have they failed us? Have they failed these people?
Yes, they have failed so significantly, and they do not understand the impact in which they created. And as I study the historical history, what I wanted to highlight is that we are here in this situation, this state, not just like that. It was gradually created. So it comes back to favoritism and a lot of complacency. We can see it in how our leaders are living. I say this because I sit on the block and see when individuals who are representing constituency pass in the Bentleys and the Rolls Royce and stuff, and just like, you know, the same people that they made commitments to, they can shout them like, hey, and keep moving. And then now, after 4 years, they're going to return again and try to get themselves into that situation
again. I blame more people.
again.
People keep doing this. This is a cycle that is it's not just in Barbados, it's across the world.
Across the world, but what's happening is that when you are limited to a structure, you see, it comes back to your mindset. It's like if I have a circle, I'm in the middle. It needs individuals that will motivate you, leaders, to take me out of this circle so that I can look into what I was doing. That is my transformation. It took an individual who said, listen, man, this is not a place for you. And I never listened because I was too ignorant because of my lack of knowledge.
I want to say a few things here, David. I think one of the and this is just kind of piggyback on what was mentioned here.
Right, sure.
One of the major reasons why a lot of young men are frustrated, especially at leadership generally, is because they feel as if leadership has not been genuine with them. Right? A lot of young people have received a lot of tokenism. Right? They've been treated as nice props and trinkets, you know, to help to make, you know, for nice optics and so forth. And they realize, you know, that they have not really been taken seriously again. Like, promises were made, and you know, these individuals held on to these promises, and then, you know, it was shattered essentially, and they received nothing. And so what we are seeing now in this current political atmosphere is a frustration and a low tolerance level for people who give fluff. That is why an individual like Natalie, obviously this is a hot topic now, this is why someone like her, who may not be your traditional political candidate, may very well be able to pick up a lot of traction.
Why is Natalie a hot topic?
Yeah, for a number of various reasons, but I want to make my point first, and then we can come back here.
Because you can't mention her name and I not talk.
Yeah, of course. So somebody like her, who has, you know, regardless of her past, has committed hands and feet to the ground to begin to do stuff that people would have made promises on for years, that all of a sudden she's beginning to see a surge of momentum in her favor, because here's somebody that does not fit the traditional bill, that is an outlier related to the established political parties, etc., you know, and she's actually doing something for us. And I think that is going to go a long way with people, because people are tired of lip service. Young people are tired of being taken for granted, being taken as tokenism, especially with young people. And we have to remember that Barbados is a young country, right? Yes, we have a lot of centennials and a number over a certain age of 80.
We do have an aging population.
Yeah, we have an aging population, but we are still a relatively young country. In terms of the voters, that can make a significant impression on this current election. And I think that we could be in for a surprise.
It's 60%.
Where things are concerned.
Do you think that Natalie can win?
I certainly think that she can cause a stir. I think she can definitely cause a stir.
I for one believe she could win. Hands down, I for one believe she could win.
I personally believe that she could win, but she need to restructure, internalize.
I don't agree with it, because here's what we're asking Natalie to restructure.
What are you disagreeing with?
The fact that we're talking about restructuring, internalize. She's already done that. Huh? She's already looked at how she portray herself, how she portray her whole demeanor. She's also quit the trade, and she's looking to go forward as a candidate to be up for election, right? In election. I'm just saying, when we look at it, for me, as I see her as a person, she's doing things that, as Imran said, the politicians go out and promise. They can clean up the streets. She's already taking it to the streets.
But Kemar, to be honest, to be fair, to be absolutely fair, right? And I'll deal with Natalie in a second. To be absolutely fair, there is no politician, right, from that has any means, and I want to put that in there, because the newer parties may not have the same means as the older parties, right? But let me take away the presence of them and all the others who have just jumped into this, right? So let me deal with the traditional parties, the traditional movers and shakers, the BLP and the DLP.
Right.
There's absolutely no politician when elections are around that don't do something. Everything is done.
It's true.
The issue is never in the election season. The issue is always after. So the question must be asked, in light of that, is Natalie really doing something that is revolutionary? No, she is doing something that politicians normally do.
Exactly.
Which is to do something within, I mean, she's smart, but that is what politicians do at this time.
Well,
they clean up every street, they patch every road. No one in the constituency goes hungry. People get laptops, washing machines, refrigerators, everything, even if the God go back.
Everything. I think there's a significant difference though where Natalie's concerned.
No, hold on. I'm going to get to that. I really, but don't. We cannot really say in this season that she's doing something different, because I am telling you, when that bell is rung, right?
All hands on that. Everybody.
Exactly. Is what happens. Now, my question to you is, this. Is Natalie the person that you would want to send to face the IMF?
Ask him.
I'm asking him. Is Natalie the person? No, hold on. She is running against Jeffrey Bostic, Henderson Williams, okay, who's the CEO of COB, right? Very intelligent person, right? And she's so Lynette Eastman, very intelligent. Jeffrey Bostic, very intelligent. And Henderson Williams, very intelligent. Right? Good. Now I just call those three off. Now, would you prefer to send Natalie or one of them to face the United Nations, the World Bank, or the IMF?
Oh, come on, that's a far-fetched question. In the sense that, put it this way, how would they know that being Anderson, Williams, and all the names you call being intelligent enough to face the IMF?
Kemar, I asked you, who would you prefer?
Because the people would not go. But the party in power prefer to send at the time they can send.
I am asking you. Hold on.
So the question would be like, why not her?
Hold on. You are the person.
You just stand and said yes.
By her.
But you just agreed to that. You think she will win?
Kemar, I am asking you a simple question.
I will come down to saying that.
Here's why I asked this question.
Because it don't mean that they're material.
And I said the same thing to Tyler. This is why I asked this question. And I stand firm on this. I said this to Tyler. I said this to all of the representatives of political parties that are here. And if I interviewed Natalie, I would say the same thing to her. I said I have a WhatsApp that I sent to Mark Anderson, and I said the same thing to him. My issue is simply this, right? Persons like Natalie Herwood, okay? And when I say like that, I'm not talking about prostitutes. I'm talking about people that have a heart, right? For people who are moved by the trauma that they see. And I said this to Tyler as well, right? Are not always the persons that should have to function at a national level to invoke change, right? Those people, the reality is, if you become a successful politician, you cannot be a person of the people. One is always sacrificed by the other. But there is no way that a success. There is no way that the Prime Minister of Barbados can be a good Prime Minister and always in his constituency. It is impossible, right? The issues that Barbados will face.
But you see, here's my
Let me finish lest you misunderstand me. This is why, as I've said to them, we need constituency councils.
Exactly.
But
I agree.
The officials need to be elected.
So this is where then we're talking about the overhaul of the entire system.
There you go. So that persons who have a heart for the people don't feel as though they have to contend against a machinery that has millions of dollars to serve. So we need to look. Natalie's entrance into this race cannot be about her lifestyle.
And this is where
addressing the governance structure of our nation and putting things in place that people that want to serve the common man have a place apart from Parliament. That's my point.
Well, yeah, I definitely agree and understand. Obviously, with our constitution allows for anybody to go and pay the $250 and register as a candidate, and so therefore not qualifies in that regard.
You have to have the constitution qualifications.
Regardless, any
constitution qualification
based on our constitution, once you're a citizen of Barbados,
you can't brush it aside as though you're talking foolish.
But here,
if the Constitution requires you to have 2 votes, it's 2 votes. You can't brush it aside.
She will got 40.
So some people that want.
Here's the point. Here's the point I want to make, especially coming back to the question that you asked, Kemar, is I think politics is played out obviously at two levels. There's the meta narrative or the bigger picture,
right?
You know, the governance of the country and so forth. But then there's that micro perspective of representing constituents.
Yeah.
Correct.
And we have to ask ourselves not whether or not people are interested in her representing them overseas. We have to ask ourselves if people are interested in them representing them here,
right?
Because Barbadians are feeling it. Remember, this is the backdrop against which the elections is happening.
Yeah.
We are in one of the hardest seasons where we've had a number of taxes. It feels like politicians have been continually letting us down. Here comes an outlier and saying, I am for poor people. This is the tagline.
That's the message.
People are interested whether she can represent them overseas or not. They're interested in my constituency. Can she meet my needs? Can she change the city of Bridgetown? Can she give it a facelift? Can she help me with a job, etc.? If Natalie comes across as a type of individual that can deliver on such, then that is going to
already portrayed that.
I am asking you the question, what is it that got us in this situation?
A vacuum of leadership. And so people think
leadership in what area?
In a number of areas.
Well, I understand it's a number of areas. I am pressing you to answer a question. In what areas?
So
where did Barbados fall down?
Well, number one, we have an economy that has failed after instituting a million policies, a failed Minister of Finance, 19 or 20 downgrades within a 9-year period, or whatever the case may be. Secondly, we got road issues, right, that have been failed to be addressed, but then our leaders are going to be condescending in their speech about those same issues that Barbadians face regarding the road and so forth as a transient inconvenience. Thirdly, the sewage product. Our education system is in a mess. Inaccessible to the poor people of Barbados.
I want to pick you up. No, I ain't gonna take on that. I want to challenge you on the first one and ask you the simple question, right?
Yeah.
How do you see persons like Natalie? And I'm sorry to be and I want to make it clear. I'm talking about persons who have gotten into this race because they want to serve the people.
First of all,
hold on. I didn't ask the question. Wait, answer. I didn't ask the question. How do you see them correcting
any of these
the economic policies of the current Minister of Finance? That's my question.
How do I see somebody like Natalie or anybody that
persons like her who have gotten in because they want?
Well, you said persons like her is far-fetched. You mean you're talking about the politicians? Because you got to look at each of them as an individual.
What is a person? One person. Let me hear you, Shamelle. Go ahead, Shamelle.
I think when you say persons like her, you're talking.
I am not labeling. I have clearly explained myself.
What you call the outlier, the person everybody's expecting, the person that didn't go to school, didn't study politics, ain't know nothing about politics.
That's what
all they have is a heart for people.
Exactly.
I think that's what you're talking
about. That is what I'm
asking.
How does that person impact by reversal the policies of the current minister? That's what I'm asking. And these are questions. Listen to me.
I don't think it's anything she wants to do.
I don't think it's anything
I don't think Natalie's going to become prime minister first of all. I don't think Natalie's going to become prime minister first of all. Secondly, I think there are two major things that individuals entering into the race of politics need to have: competence and character. Right? Those two things are important. If you are not strong in a particular area, you concentrate on your strengths, but you hire out your weaknesses. In the same way that various individuals have advisors and so forth, if Natalie gets into power, she just needs to surround herself with good counsel. Now, again, like I said, I don't expect her to become prime minister. I don't even expect her to become minister of finance. Right?
So you see, this is why I talk about logical discussion, right? Now I'm getting the answer from you that you don't think that she may be competent in specific areas. However, if she enters the House of Assembly, right, she needs to surround herself with people that have those competencies. That's all I was asking you, sir. And you get hyper.
I always say
right? No, but we need to listen. Every single politician that comes into Parliament, their issue in the next 5 years is not going to be the South Coast Sewage Project. It is going to be the economy. The economy is a product or manifestation of other factors. How are these people going to attract investors? How are we going to get Four Seasons started? How are we going to reduce oil prices? How are we going to deal with that? I want to know. Hold on. I want to know when we look past, right?
Yeah.
Natalie's past.
Right.
When we look past any of these persons' past, right? And we are honest with ourselves, we have to ask the question: can they make a contribution?
No, I agree with you. No,
good. Now hold on. When we ask that question, because and we don't need to only ask it of Natalie, we need to ask that of every single.
This is why we asking of every single party.
That is why we have to show
a lot on Natalie and asking she about hers. But we should ask all.
Well, we need to ask all.
All need to come here on Rosehill Show and be asked.
Oh, say it again.
All need to come here on Rosehill Show and be asked.
And to be exactly
accountable, everyone. So we need to come off of whether Natalie positive or not and say, listen, we got how much? Probably 150 gonna be at the post. We need all 150 to tell us.
See, and
all 150 gonna be at the post.
I fully agree.
Correct.
You know, and not just that. I believe in every constituency, whoever the individual is that is representing that constituency, we need to have debates live.
Correct.
I agree with them right there speaking one-on-one with each other.
Amen.
But I have offered that and you know.
No. It's because of the manipulation and trickery that they're doing. Is that they will not face each other.
Correct.
They will not.
And
They can't. They can't.
I think one of the issues for me personally is we've yet to hear politicians outline in detail their
real
plans and
concrete
policies.
Real concrete
It's
plans.
true. You're like,
We've been hearing a lot of broad strokes of,
I'm
we are
telling
going to
you.
reverse the NSR.
What does that look like?
A lot of people in my
but
thing.
we've not heard the details of how are
Is
you
that-
going to. I was on this
necessary?
show. I was on this show.
I don't think it's
the last time. And one of the candidates representing the UPP made mention that they're going to reverse the UE fees. And they said that I asked them, how are you going to do that? You know what they said to me? We can find the money that was used in corruption. We're gonna take back that money. We're gonna use it. It's clearly that has not been thought through. You know why? Because you know many years that's going to be tied up in a court case to try to get. So in the meantime, while you're trying to find that money, where the money can come from to pay those things. But this is
a lot of ideologies. Here the thing is, a lot of people, right? And I've been around to some of the political meetings and stuff like that. When I listen to the political leaders or candidates on top of the stage, people are more interested in the hype, the laughter,
and the gossip, and the
gossip,
talk,
and who's speaking who. So half I want to hear the politics, hear the policies, but a large degree want to hear who sleep with who got who.
Exactly.
And so you don't got to roll up policy at this point.
And this is why I tell people the X factor in this election race is going to be the electorate. Because people talk,
but
this
the
and that.
X factor is always electorate. What are you saying? I don't understand.
No, because
it sounds highfalutin, but what is it? The X factor is always the electorate.
No, because but here's the reason why.
The X factor is always the electorate.
But here's the reason why. Because a lot of politicians, right, and this is why it's ironic. Because a lot of politicians think that they are the X factor.
Yeah.
A lot of politicians think, oh, well, because I'm new and fresh, and because of the season that we're in, we are going to bring this. You have no idea. You know that is really up to the electorate. It's really up to the community. Who they're going to vote.
What? You want to say something?
No. I just want to say what I said when I first came on here. I would like these political representatives and individuals to know that Barbadians are very intellectual. They're very smart. They cannot come with this kind of trickery.
Not in this season.
Not in this season.
I ain't sure because listen to me, right? People who are committed to their party are committed to their party. Guys, on that point, we're going to take some breaks and we're going to come right back to continue this heated discussion and try to find out what Imran means when he says that the electorate is the X.
Because a lot of politicians think that them is the X factor. They think that they're God's gift to the community.
Coming back. Listen, I miss Roger.
Longer. Good night, Roger.
We'll be back in a couple of minutes with Rosehill Talks Politics and these exciting guests talking more about what is happening on the ground. And we want to talk a bit more, present a bit more about how can we keep our politicians accountable. Yeah? Okay. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Don't forget to pay me for the plug.
Actually, Kevin Campbell just made a really good point here. He says,
He's watching?
Oh no, he not watching, but we having a conversation in this group. So he said, no, back to the Westminster system. That system needs a revolution. We as a country should move to separate politics and policy. And I feel that makes sense. And obviously that's kind of what we have been saying here.
Politics and policy.
Yeah, I would suggest we find a way to let people represent their communities and let them break.
Apostle Canterbury, and I want to say what a pleasure it was to be here on the Rosehill Show with my good friend Apostle David Coulthrust and the Rosehill team. And I want you to know to call that number that's on the screen and let them know you're interested in being on the Rosehill Show. It's the place to be if you want to reach your target audience and if you want to take your life, your business to the next level. This is Apostle Leroy Canterbury, and I want to say what
I'm Caroline Bradshaw Green.
Hello, my name is Veronica Eversley.
My name is Pastor Linda Jones, and I've been on the Rosehill Show. It's been an exciting evening discussing the issues that are impacting women.
It's not only informative, but also thought-provoking.
What was impressive for me was the engaging host that we had and how he made us feel very comfortable. Continue to tune in.
On Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
You're watching the Rosehill Show.
I'm Caroline
P. Austin, the United Progressive Party's St. James South candidate. It was indeed a pleasure and a privilege to be a part of the Rosehill Talks Politics show. I believe that as more and more of our local influencers, practitioners in politics and other sections of society participate in the show, that it will grow from strength to strength. I want to endorse the show and encourage other persons to tune in and share the links.
I really enjoyed being on the Rosehill Show. It was interesting.
I have learned a lot from my fellow participants tonight, and I am now aware of several things that I probably would not have even thought about previously.
As a youngster, it has educated me about how to be a real man within society and how to really raise my family.
Good evening. My name is Eric Marshall. I'm the candidate for St. James Central.
Mark Adamson, that is my name. I'm the political leader of the People's Democratic Congress.
My reason for politics is for the need of the people.
To help make this country a brighter and a better place for all people.
To be here on the Rosehill Show with my good friend Apostle David Coulthrust and the Rosehill team. And I want you to know to call that number that's on the screen and let them know you're interested in being on the Rosehill Show. It's the place to be if you want to reach your target audience and if you want to take your life, your business to the next level.
Hello, my name is Veronica Eversley.
My name is Pastor Linda Jones, and I've been on the Rosehill Show. It's been an exciting evening discussing the issues that are impacting women.
It's not only informative, but also thought-provoking.
What was impressive for me was the engaging host that we had and how he made us feel very comfortable. Continue to tune in.
On Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
You're watching the Rosehill Show.
I'm Pastor Dr. Kathy Nova Rochester, and as an HR practitioner, I see the issues within corporate Barbados where companies really need to start to look at more family-oriented policies to encourage women to be able to be at work, to be productive, but be able to still live that balanced work life. Rosehill, talk politics. This has been the Rosehill Show.
This is Morris Lee. I'm the interim chairman of the Association of Public Transport Operators. It was a tremendous experience to be given the opportunity to share the aspect of public transport with the nation. Because essentially there are a lot of people that see vehicles driving up and down and are totally unaware of the things that affect this important industry. I'm pleased to tell you that you are watching the Rosehill Show.
Here and the fire is on with what is happening, and Imran was saying that we have a lot of incompetent people in Parliament that are elected. We got to address this issue.
So how do we have the right? So yes, at a ground level, there are those individuals because of personality, charm, ability to articulate themselves well, etc., that they have a good ground game and they're elected to the House of Assembly.
Right.
But they
Grassroots politicians.
Grassroots politicians.
Right.
And they may very well be effective at being able to serve their constituency and constituents, etc. But how effective are those individuals at really running the country and governing the
that's
country?
the point.
And I think that is a major challenge that we have.
I think that's definitely
fair enough.
Correct. That's something we
how do we address that as a nation? I think
the problem
takes
is
a lot of delicate thought and
But
strategy.
the structure is there, Imran. It doesn't take any delicate. The constituency councils are there. The constituency councils just need.
Don't talk about the constituency.
Listen, do you want to get upset? Get creative.
I agree in overall.
We need to elect people to the constituency councils and give them a budget.
Well, they had a budget, but what happened with the budget? They had too many. They can't correct it. But again, we need to look at these things and we need to overhaul it, and we need to put people there that. If you use people within the NGO sector that are already serving the community or serving the at large, I think that would be better. And I think the mistake that government makes all the time is shying away from being using NGOs as stakeholders in a lot of these things. The constituency council should not be made up of just BLP members or DLP members.
Constituency councils have been too partisan.
You get this little pay, or you know. I think that NGOs are already on the ground. I mean, they're very
NGOs, but they're also social workers,
civil society organizations, community-based organizations. All these are made up of NGO. So we use that and say, well, look, Shamelle, you're in this constituency. Put people, elect people from your office.
My point stands that you need to elect people to the constituency councils.
We agree.
Because it has to be the choice of the people who they want to represent them. And we cannot assume, right? We cannot assume that because a person is running a successful NGO, that the people will want to connect with them.
But if the person is getting results,
correct,
right? Okay, so nobody elected Kemar or myself, let's say, to do what we're doing, right? We decided, you know, and this is for a lot of other persons in the CSO community. You are authentic, you're passionate about what you're doing, and you really want to make a difference. And at the end of the day, people only care if they are getting results.
The dynamics of Jabez house or the Vagrant society does not translate to the dynamics of a constituency.
But there are many things that are still very similar. People hungry, so you know what? Whether it is this,
why you automatically gravitate to the hungry people? If you are hungry, you see, that is why I just said it's not. You see, you automatically gone to the people that you serve. How are you going to serve the people that ain't hungry? Exactly.
I serve people that are not hungry, that are not hungry.
I want to enter the conversation from a different perspective.
Yes, please.
Still to disagree with what you're saying, and here's why. Because I think people right now, we are losing the best and the brightest minds in politics because of the taste in people's mouth to it. Right?
Explain.
People are fed up. People think that politicians are corrupt. People think that politicians are self-serving.
When did this happen?
And so this happened over a period of time, and you know this, David.
No. But
right? a lot of individuals that I know who would add significant value to the political landscape of Barbados, but have stayed away because they don't just want to get involved. So from the time you make the constituency councils about election and somebody has to campaign, etc., those people that you really want to attract, those minds, those individuals who have the capacity, the competence, they are going to say, you know what, I know about that. And I think that if you approach those individuals from an appointment perspective, you take away the politics from it, you can attract some of the individuals that have that heart and desire to help to really serve the community.
If my issue is this, who does the appointing, and whoever does the appointing can do the disappointing? Let me hear you.
You see, and that's where you create legislation.
You have to take it out of the appointers.
So that's what we're talking about. Contractor general, because the NBA people are still going to be behind the systems.
The contractor general has an employer called the government of Barbados, right? The elected official has a employer called the people.
Well, then put it in the hands of a set of people to select the people.
Let me hear you tell
nice balance of people. Any systems and processes are always going to end up in the hands of problems.
Let me hear you tell you.
I personally believe I accepted to come on this show because we came here for the people to hear the problem and the solution.
Right.
Not to be argumentative.
We can't avoid that with such
I
passionate
understand the
conversation.
passionate feeling.
Right.
I have that feeling as well. I came from the block. I have that feeling. But we're dealing on another level where these people are in control. And we need to understand one thing first. You can never solve a problem on the same level it was created.
Right.
Nor can you solve the problem with the people who created it in the first place. Then we go back to the concept and the meaning of the word called integrity. What is integrity? If we understand the meaning of integrity, these people would not be in the position as to where they are. And they have been there continuously. They have been there all through my life.
Tyler, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Right?
People are responsible.
Is integrity integral in the Barbados political system? It is not. Well, sorry. You answer. Is it important? I am not saying whether it should. Is it important?
Is it mindful of people? Let me answer that question by saying I am supporting and I'm a member of the Barbados Integrity Movement. Is a reason why we have that name. Barbados first. We are men and women that has integrity. You can go research our life.
Truth is that you're not really sure if a person has integrity until they have been tested, though.
No.
Oh, you guys have never been told before.
No. You can't say that.
That's not fair.
You cannot say that.
You know me.
That's not fair.
No.
Here's your question. Do you know me?
No, but I know men.
You know men.
I know men. And I know men with good intentions who've gotten into politics, extremely good intentions, and from the time they got into that position, their hands touched the floor. So all the integrity.
Wait. I want you to know this.
So it's not a judgment on you as an individual. It's a judgment of people generally.
Can I have a minute? No, wait.
Have we not been let up with politician after politician after politician who have come on their high horses, their righteous horses of, we are going to run a different campaign, etc.
Okay, guys, give me a second. Hold on. You introduced two different things. You switched. Hold on. Let me identify the switch. Right? We were talking about integrity, and you told the man about first comers. Right? And then you switch back. And I'm telling you, you cannot say, right, that a man is not tested in politics, so therefore he's not going to do a good job. You can't say that.
I can say don't know. And that's the point I make. I don't know.
You don't know if the.
I don't know.
We don't know if the Honorable Mayor Monty is going to do a good job as a Prime Minister if she's elected.
Exactly.
We don't know. So you can't introduce that there.
I have to introduce it.
We don't know.
I have to introduce. Here's why.
Are you introducing that?
No. Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why.
Listen, hold on.
Let me finish.
I let you finish. I let he finish. Because I introduced that because what you said was not fair. You cannot point your finger at a man and say, we don't know what you can do.
I'm pointing my fingers at men.
But listen, you can't say that because that's everybody including us.
But do I know what they're going to do?
But you don't know that. Let me hear Tyler.
Listen, I want to give you a brief bio on me.
But Tyler, right? My state wasn't a...
No, I'm ready. They are people like me.
Eddie Ma talk.
They are people like me, right? Where I came from, give a man power, right? Give a man money. That reveals who the individual is.
Right.
Listen what I said carefully. Give him money and power. It reveals who that person is. I have had money. All my friends and my associates from Six Men to Chapman to the Orleans to the Red Sea, all these places, my life never changed. I'm still cutting hair in the same barbershop. Right. I did theology. I am now getting ready to go and write my political science, political philosophy, and economics.
Right.
I self-educate. I'm telling you this tonight, that there are people like me out there that I spend time with.
Right.
And they have given money and power, and they're still the same person.
Right.
But it's a puppet show that is happening. Back in the days, I would tell you this, shopkeepers used to run Barbados. Ask your mother and your grandmother. Then UE was introduced, and intellectual people with just intellect, with no experience, jumped in and created a whole intellectual atmosphere. So now it's very hard for an individual like Natalie to come into this arena because they're gonna get her down on her knees intellectually. Right. I'm telling you this because I have been at BCC Monday that gone having a debate. Go on my Facebook, you can see it. Why Natalie never showed up there? She was invited. Whatever circumstance it is, this is a platform where there are people there and there are intellectual people sitting there.
She probably wasn't ready for you debate.
No, well, whatever she ready or not, I want to say this. I believe in Natalie. I believe because I was once a person similar in her situation, and I come out of it. And I'm telling you, this is not argumentative, it's facts. Natalie can become a wonderful woman. All she needs is mentorship, someone to teach her the game that she's going into, not someone to push money in her pocket and dictate her. So that's what we need to understand.
So how do we provide a context for all of these young people who are very intelligent and very passionate to enter into the political arena?
We need to give them opportunity to speak.
I want to hear from Shamelle, because she's been quiet, and then I'm going to come to Kemar. We coming to you.
We coming to you last.
Honestly, right? I think that in the year 2018, young people can have a voice, and the only way I see anything changing is if, as he's saying, people begin to speak up. Social media. The people only know who Natalie is because of social media. People
exactly.
There's Instagram. Yeah. So even if a politician never gave me a platform, I feel like we can create our own platforms. I feel like we can begin to speak out about injustices. I believe that young people on their own can begin to stir up things and create movements, right? I mean, you start a hashtag and you start doing whatever, you get followers, you can really
get a few cameras and start a talk show like I did. Put it on Facebook.
Right? And that is the way I believe that if young people can get that sort of thing going, I feel like then we can actually begin to see some sort of real change happening. But I think as all of this we've been talking, politicians don't really value a lot of the masses, because I think people they just feel, y'all can just kind of swallow what is put out there. Young people are just seen as,
I keep getting this sense from everybody that people feel as though they don't care about it.
But that's what comes down. It comes down when you hear things or when you engage persons in politics. It doesn't come across as authentic. It's just like, okay, I just hear, living my life. You there, gotta say what you want to hear, or I can just carry on and you can just buy into this anyway.
I come into you and I know you're chopping at the bit. Is that the sense that you're also getting people when you connect with people that there's that lack of care?
I feel it personally.
Okay, well, tell us a bit about that.
No, I mean, I've been doing the work I've been doing. You'll be approaching government as a young person at the age, start at 18, and you feel like if you feel disrespected when you go into meetings. You sit down with them,
you feel looked down to.
You feel like, oh, I'm glad you attach yourself to a man, and it's like, for me, I can feel the frustration because I've approached, I've walked with government, I've talked with government, but they'll be happy to send you a meeting letter to come and sit down at a conference. But other than that, when you sit with them personally, they don't take you serious. I feel many times I've sat with politicians, and I felt disrespected. I felt looked upon. You feel like
you mean even though you're doing work that has a successful track record,
even a successful track record. So I'm saying I can feel it. I feel it every Sunday. You go home and you tell yourself, "What the hell are you even doing this?" Because if you're leaders, right, and thank God we got God in real life that we can surpass. Yes. But if your leaders don't even respect you, who are also a respected person in society, imagine somebody else that the society don't even know. So many times the youth can't have a voice to speak, even if they have a voice, it's like you're getting pulled on. Some know, but in certain instances, like if you speak, politicians gunning at you, you're hearing foolish threat. I got called at night saying I need to stop posting things on Facebook because, use Kemar, Saffrey, and when the politicians come for you, they can come for your heart. Who gives a damn? You say what you have to say. I care less if they come for me, because I know where I stand. But there's other people that will say, I frightened, but I say nothing. I done. Your job get taken away.
you know, so you feel disrespectful, feel disrespected, you're pulled down, and it's so sad that it's by your leaders. The people that should.
Shirley keeps using the word manipulation. Is that what's going on? You think?
I feel me personally, yeah, you feel sometimes you're manipulated. Sometimes even the things that you do, even you feel that your work is being manipulated because sometimes you send the proposal and manipulate it into a different area of government and think you're still using it, but they left you out. You get big stakeholders meeting and they call all the fancy people. They're doing this with homeless, but they leave this out. They're doing this with the prostitution, they leave out Shamelle. So when you sit down and tell yourself, but God.
Let me hear from you, Imran.
I think two things. One, I think that it's not always an issue of not caring, but I think a lot of politicians are insecure as leaders. Great leaders, according to John C. Maxwell, reproduce other leaders. They aren't intimidated by other people who are talented or just as gifted as themselves.
Right.
And they're in a position where they want to empower and advance the gifts, help to serve and steward the gifts are in those individuals, help to serve them into their greatness.
That's powerful.
I think that a lot of our leaders are into reproducing followers because they want to continue to feel good about themselves and prop themselves up as the ones who help you. So a lot of our young people are put in a situation where they're happy to walk beside the political leaders or opposition leader holding the bag or take a picture with the opposition leader, but like not really getting a lot of opportunities to do stuff because that person isn't important. And I think the second point ties on to the first. What we see in society is a lot of nepotism. We see two types. We see two. This manifesting two different ways. One, rewarding people based on loyalty and not necessarily competence. So the person who gets the promotion is not the person who's better for the job, is not the person like Kemar Saffrey who's seeing results with homelessness, etc. Is the other person, you know, who's been there for a few years. And so the young people are constantly looked over. The other thing is that while he may be good, this is my family member. This is my friend. This is my partner that helped me in my campaign. I can get him an opportunity. Of course, so that's mean nepotism, family, etc. And I think that plays a significant role in denying a lot of young people opportunities.
Go on.
The truth is, having conversations like these can leave you feeling really disillusioned, especially when you start to really get into what some of the issues really are. Even what Imran's talking about, you will be talking about things that have been this way for decades. I mean that the roots go so far back. So then even although yes, young people can have a voice, there is social media, there is all of that, I feel like the push, what will need to happen to even begin to chip away or make some real dent in the whole thing is like an uphill climb. Like you're just gonna be
I think it continues
because of the culture, because
we don't talk.
Pardon?
I think it continues because we don't talk. We don't address it.
I also think
No.
There's just so much that you'll be. I mean that like people, as you mentioned, there's the loyalty thing. So people don't care who doing what. My grandfather was a D, so people talk about St. John. Oh, St. John is a DLP thing. And wait, like even they may look and see, well, man was done for us or different things. That's it, right? Because I ain't from St. John, so I can't really speak on that. But just because it has always been this way. So there are some people to even say you want to go against the grain, you want to challenge the system, you want to, sometimes you just feel like, look, just left it, so that frustration, then there are a lot of young people that their frustration will then be manifested then in a lot of the violence you may see, a lot of those.
And I want to come to that anymore. Because there was a particular political candidate that was reprimanded. I'm not judging whether that was just on this, but he was reprimanded for saying, and I paraphrase, put him in one words that, if specific things don't happen, blood will run in the streets. We remember that, I presume. Now I want to ask you, really, do you think that it is getting to a point based on what you're hearing? Now, you talked about the aggression, the people, the aggression for the food. You're connected to blocks from St. Lucie, from the north to the south. You're connected to a lot of sex workers. You're connected to all kinds of young people. Are you feeling the kind of frustration? Do you think the kind of frustration is building in this country that could lead to the type of violence that would see blood running in the street?
All right,
do you think that can happen?
First off, the violence is not going to come from the homeless, but they don't have the ammunition for the violence.
Right.
All they have is just natural strength.
They get crime.
And now we have what they put that stigma on, the block. The block is not a bad place. I will say this again, the block is not a bad place. I'm telling this from experience. All the men does is just sit down after a long day. Some will come, but majority of them would not encourage that kind of activity that is affecting the country. And then now, when you come to these youngsters with promises, and it goes back to favoritism, it goes back to what you allow is what continues. So now you promise me you're going to give me a job. I'm speaking from a perspective where this government has promised in the past countless jobs.
Right.
Gave jobs, and then what happened?
Take it back.
Take all back. Each home, each individual has a household. And I'm speaking this and I feel it. Because up to today, I took out money out of my pocket. I have a son, I have a family. I took money out of my pocket and helped people. And today I give an individual money to get things for his daughter. Her birthday, she turned 2. The mother's frustrated. Started to put that frustration in his head when he was sleeping. He got up, ran out the house. There's no job, there's nothing for him. The system looked at as if he's a criminal because judgmental people are in the system. So I gave him that opportunity and I gave him a job in my shop. And
I want to, because I want to maximize time.
Yeah.
Do you think that what we're seeing can lead to the level of
yes,
violence?
it can, because this election, if the promises continues and they do not deliver, it's going to be a lot of violence.
I think David, when I look at it, right, in my area of work, I see every day almost. With my staff, we got a group chat. We have to be literally sending one another pictures of homeless persons that are actually going to jail. Now, it may not be the violence as to, let's say, we're shooting at people and stuff like that, but it is the robbery, because food's so hard to get on the street. Now, we saw a guy went to jail for $3.50 chocolate, $5.50 chocolate. They're robbing, the thief, and they're doing whatever they can just to get by. So of lately, only yesterday you seen, and we keep sending pictures. When we can't find a client on the street, the first thing we got to do is check the prison. Yeah. If one thing you could have checked the mental, but now you got to check each prison, because they're there now for petty crimes in our side. So in a sense, crime in with the amount of homeless person, that's an increase now. But as I said, it is not the point where blood running in the streets for us.
But they committed crimes to survive.
Sometimes they commit crime on people where they are wounding and stuff like that. And simple drag now could be treated as wounded when they think.
Right.
So you have that level of frustration, because when we close our office at 5 o'clock, that's where, and the food woman don't come out at 5, and the man hungry, well, petty crimes, not all the crimes that happen among the homeless go into the papers, but we know, because the police can answer, can you identify this body, can you say this? I remember this is how foolish it is. One time we had a guy that we gave him a brand new pair of shoes, because he just got a job, a homeless guy, just got a job, and the police picked him up. He told the police, we gave him the stuff, right? The police wanted to know if it was true or whatever. We could identify, because we do records of everything. I said, we tell the police, come over, we could have called if they want and bring the shoes and everything, and we can verify if that is what we gave. And when they did, it was exactly what we gave. So they've been picked up now for looking. So it's just
So I just want to say two things. First one, in response to what you were saying, Shamelle, I think that as young people, we have to continue to do what we are doing in our spheres of influence and
Right.
be loud about it. Right?
Be
Resources
loud
or
about
not.
it.
Yeah, we have to believe
Be
in
loud
ourselves that we carry value, and we have to continue to act on that value regardless of if we get the support or not.
Yeah.
Eventually, we will become too loud, too successful for people not to take notice.
I want you to stick a pin there, right? Because I don't want that statement to be lost in the noise, right? That is exactly what is happening in the United States right now.
Yeah, without
The
gun violence.
whole march against gun violence. The politicians lagged, the leaders lagged, everybody lagged. And you know what the young people decided? We tired of our friends getting killed. And they're right in, they're just standing up and saying, listen, somebody got to change this. And this is something that needs to happen just across the world. Not violence, but just a rising and saying, guys,
peaceful march.
peace. Somebody got to listen to us because we are suffering. Carry on.
Yeah, so I think that we have to take ownership for our own success, for our own lives, our own destiny, and not depend on a politician to offer us support, etc. Just keep moving. The second thing is, I was in Jamaica last week, and I was just kind of learning a bit about what is happening there related to the issue of family. And there are these kids in Jamaica called barrel kids.
Barrel kids.
Barrel kids.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because the economy pushed a lot of people overseas to look for work, right? So parents had to leave, but they weren't able to take their kids with them because they didn't have the means to do so. And so when they get over to these states, then what they'll do is that they'll send back barrels for their children, but that is all. Yeah, so fathers are missing from homes, mothers are missing from homes, and that has resulted in a huge vacuum of leadership for these young people, not understanding who their identity is because their parents are gone, etc. And I think that the economy, as we are experiencing it now in Barbados, continues to impact on the family system, which is putting pressure then on society because these young people are being left to raise themselves. We may not see a huge migration of people leaving and going overseas to get work. It's starting, but we've certainly been seeing a lot of mothers, single parent homes, who lead single parent homes, heading to work and spending long hours there overtime because they want to be able to get money to support their children. And in the meantime, these kids are raising themselves, and so we are seeing then a cycle of violence because they're not being guided, etc. So yes, there's an aspect that is connected to the community, but I also think that we have to be fair to the argument and realize that our value systems have been broken. As a matter of fact, we've not just changed our values, we've redefined values altogether, so that what may have been celebrated as right is no longer celebrated as right, and what is wrong is now celebrated as right. So I think there are a number of contributing factors that may very well allow us to see blood spilling in the streets, but it can't only be blamed on the economy as a multi-pronged, multifaceted amount of issues and challenges.
The nation on whatever level they lead the nation on, do you think that they understand these dynamics?
No, they do not, because I explained earlier, they're from an intellectual level. The theory, no practical. They're looking at it from observing, but not being in it, to feel it, to understand it, to know it. And I want to speak on behalf of what he said, because there's a difference between providing and parenting. Fathers, my father walked away from my mother. My father walked away from my mother when I was a young boy, a little boy. My mother had no education. She was what you call a domestic worker. Me and my brother, we fed for ourselves. You get where I'm coming from? And it strengthens what he says with the mothers. My mother worked 2 jobs. She cooked 1 meal in the morning. On to this day, as I'm living all now, I still cannot finish a complete plate of food. Mr. Neil Holder can tell you that, because every time we go out, I don't finish it. He keep asking me what's up. But what I'm saying is that the fathers need mentoring. The young men need to understand how important it is to be a father.
One of the things that Shamelle said, and which is fundamentally important, when you have these discussions, you feel overwhelmed. Oh God, there's so much happening in Barbados. There's so much happening. So I want to begin to. We're hearing that there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of frustration that can lead to violence. There are a lot of people that are on the brink of that. Kemar saying that there's increased aggression amongst the people that he's seeing. You're seeing more people on the street on every single level, more frustration, and more exclusion, a greater level of exclusion from the process. So, if you were in places of power, how would you fix this?
I see what I'm doing as the power that I have right now, because it's easy to say if it's. I didn't even want to try to think if I was there, right? I feel like every single person can do what they can, right? Because it's always easier to think ahead and say, maybe if I did, or this person should. For me, that doesn't even play a role right now. I feel like I have a responsibility right now. Whatever little I have, I don't know the young woman I reach out to or the young man I reach out to, who that person is going to be, So every person, if we stop being so, it's all about me and the selfishness that has really crept into our society.
Right.
And every single person begins to look to the child next door, that you realize the mother don't ever be home. You know what? Reach out to that child. Just offer a little guidance there. I may not have a whole lot, but I just do my little part. Rather than just only looking to the politicians or saying, if I had the money, if I had the power, if every single person had to decide, I am also equally as responsible. Yes, I also have to put these people in power, but I'm also very responsible for what my community looks like, what my neighborhood. Just look at your street alone then. Don't even look outside of that. My street. What can I do? I feel like we could see some kind of difference. There are so many young men. I remember when I was teaching, there are a lot of young boys that people see as very trouble. I know, but you know what? Come, be in my art room, spend time with them, just talking to them, and you would realize as you engage some of these children, they just want to know that somebody actually cares a little bit about them. Yeah. Right now, when I talk to a woman, you may see a woman standing on the side of the road, and it's easy to walk past her or to drive past, as people like to do, and snicker like, yo, look how she walk by that. You don't know that woman's story, but you get to this woman, you start talking to her, and you realize the person that everybody may think this person is, it's not. All this person needs is just somebody to reach out, to offer some measure of hope, to say, listen, here's what. I can help you learn how to bake that little thing that you can at least put food in your children's stomach and sell a couple that you could eat something too. It doesn't even have to be something huge. I feel like it's so easy to have it out there when we can all just say, I am responsible for making some kind of difference in my own little world, and I am committed to doing so.
Yes, if I may add, I just want to go back to something Taylor said, just on the end where he talked about some of the politicians not knowing. I think they do. I think that they're not oblivious of what is going on. I think what they lack is that initiative to get up off their high horses, come into the environment and make the changes. Yeah, and I don't think that they're oblivious of what's going on. I don't think that they're oblivious of the frustration level or anything like that. I do.
Certainly when they campaign and they will see it.
Well, you know what? Sometimes with the campaign, they don't who house to go and knock out. So sometimes they don't really see it. And they don't block to go out. What I want to say at the show with Shamelle is that, I even though I do have some political aspiration, it is not at this point. I've been asked to run by several parties, and I've declined. Because I believe that what I'm doing here is still not complete. Right. In terms of the homeless, not giving them a shelter. And I can say, give me the opportunity, let me go and run, and I think I can make a difference being in the politics. I think that I've made such an impact in Barbados and around the world from what I'm doing here, that I would just pray other people can get up and see it and make the impact in their areas. We don't all need to run to party. As I said, I will say it again, I do have political aspirations to get in politics. But at this point, I believe that the achievement that I need to do is to get the building for the homeless. And when I see things going there, I can say, yes, all well and done here. I think I've done enough here. Let me go here and see if I can make another change. And, as that. But I think that in agreement with Shamelle,
You just need to be that brother's keeper and look out for each other, make that impact. You don't have to make it on the level or in the same area we are, but I sure know that everybody has some sort of, cause attached to them that they could make differences.
I want to say something because I know time is winding, but just to kind of hit this home. So I grew up, low poor girl, whatever. I know what it is to be hungry, I know all of these things, and that's why even although when I see my ladies, I may look different to them. When they start talking, I could feel it because I know what it is to have a hunger head. I know all of that, right? But what made a difference for me was one individual. I would never forget it. It was my primary school graduation, and I was the valedictorian. A lot of people were surprised. They knew I was smart, but I don't think people knew I would have probably, dominated. And one teacher pulled me aside and introduced me, my mother and I, to one man, they knew that I was a girl, never used to get to go to the field trips at school because mommy ain't got the money and all those things. And they made this one connection, this one individual. He didn't publicize it. It wasn't anything that everybody knew about. He agreed to sponsor me just to make sure I could go to school. So my mother used to leave on the 5 and 6 o'clock bus on mornings, come back home, usually 12 and 14-hour shifts. We had to raise ourselves, yes. But this man said, you know what? This is a young woman with potential. And I know unless she is given some sort of real support, she may fall by the wayside. I'm going to buy every single school book. I'm going to buy every single uniform. He sent me to this man. All I had to do was bring my report that you could see. This man was never inappropriate to me, nothing. All he said was, you have potential. I want to help. Here's allowance. Go to school and learn. This can make a difference in you. And I feel like the same with this one, I'm sure, and when he looks at me, he's like, he would not have known this 11-year-old girl gonna go, and the number of women I have reached out to, and not bragging, but the number of women, the number of families, the number of lives, there are clients that just sit down like, I am about to take my life today, Shamelle, and unless I get in front of them or I put them someplace, there are people that would have been dead and gone. He would not have known that about me. And I feel like it doesn't have to be anything huge, but if every single person could say, you know what, I don't know who that little 10-year-old boy is. He ain't just some hard ears, whatever little fella. You know what? Come.
They could be that man.
You don't know who he's going to be. I feel like that, one person making that commitment to somebody else, I feel like that can just change our society on a whole. That to me is what is
so our leaders does not have that characteristics.
I don't know. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't care because I am not responsible for them or for anybody. I'm responsible for me, and I feel like if we can challenge another person rather than always trying to put the responsibility, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be responsible because they need to be held responsible, but I feel like if we can just say, you know what, I can just do my little part though, because I don't know.
You see,
I feel like that alone can still have value.
The thing about that is that the cookie is at the top. The crumbs is what dropping. The infection is at the top. We are not looking to get rid of the infection. At the end of the day, we can do all these things. But are we controlling what is really being done and processed in Parliament?
What do we need to do?
But we didn't establish that.
Let me let him talk.
It's going to happen like that.
What do we need to do?
What we need to do is allow...
If you were in a position of power, what would you do?
What I would do is that I would have these individuals be interviewed based on their performance, productivity. When you have an individual running in a constituency, which is 30 we have, and we have 11 parishes, right, is that they come with this beautiful image. They're all of them. So what we need to do, as I said before, in this time right now, is that the community need to come together and say, listen, these men is who running for my constituency. You know what I want as a community? Let all of them come. Let's sit and have a discussion before we get up there to know who you are, what you plan on doing for us, and based on your past to your future.
Good. All right, let me hear from Imran.
But ain't gonna happen so?
No, listen.
It's not gonna happen like that.
Hold on. We can't.
Sorry.
Right, because
So until that happens,
we can't say it is.
Until that happens, what am I going to do?
Shamelle,
That's all
we are here to put over ideas, and the ideas may be different, but they are not contradictory. So his idea is on a different level. Your idea is on a different level. We have to have all the ideas. Don't bash it. Yes.
Yeah, I understand the question. So a few things just off the top of my head. This is specifically to do with youth because that's what we've been talking about, right? One, I would address the issue of corruption as best as possible to ensure that funds that were made available for certain projects, that those funds actually go to what they were allotted for and that they were managed well.
I think that's the point that Crystal Austin was trying to make.
Right. The other thing I'd focus on 4 very specific areas. I'd focus on sports as a means of economic empowerment and so forth.
Yes.
Social mobility. I was in Jamaica. I was at Champs recently, and to see the private sector, specifically Grace Kennedy, behind sports and just re-signed it for another 7 years, and what they're doing there, and young people are getting scholarships, etc. It's phenomenal. Education, obviously, I'll be looking at that, and not just education from the traditional perspective in terms of those who are cognitively gifted, but also how can we begin to, those skills that are important. Arts and media, like our young people are talented, we gotta support them in that regard, and then technology, app development, etc., big data, all of that kind of stuff. I want to be able to get our young people connected to that stream, so that, because it is said that the 60% of the jobs that are currently available are not going to be available in another 6 years. How are we preparing our young people for that transition? And then at a community level, I want to do parenting programs, and I also want to do like empowerment of social workers, so that we focus more on preventative strategies rather than punitive strategies, especially knowing that our penal system is really about punishment and not rehabilitation. Even though it's built on 4 pillars, of which punishment is just one, right? I'd also kind of join with the others and just say continue to do what you can with what you have where you are. In May, we are currently planning a fatherhood conference where we're inviting an international speaker from South Africa to address the issue of fatherlessness. He's written a book called The World Needs a Father. That's going to be May the 14th to the 16th. We're looking to gather 500 men to really think, how can we become mentors to our community? And so that is something that looking at doing. I think that just doing what you can with what you have. I want to say one final thing.
You'll have like 30 seconds.
Okay, perfect. One of the things that I really think is important for politicians to take note of, I've been reading a book recently by Stephen Covey's son called The Speed of Trust, right? And he says that trust is not only a character issue, but trust is a competence issue. And I thought about God, and I thought about, why do I trust God so much? I trust God because I know his character, but I also know that God is extremely competent. God is all powerful. He can do. And so I can fall fully in his arms and trust him. And I think that we have to move the conversation away from just integrity and values, etc., because the conversation in terms of politics is about more than that. It has to be about integrity as well as competence. Are you able to deliver, right? And I think that is where the conversation needs to go from a political perspective.
Because you can be an honest person but be a bad manager of the economy.
Yeah,
it's quite true.
And you could be a good manager of the economy but a horrible person.
Yes.
But see, God,
I'm going to give you 30 seconds to finish.
Yeah, they forgot that is God first. Barbados has forgot that is God first, because we are putting these people over and over. We are playing the same game. We are playing a ping pong game.
And I think that we can end on that point. God first.
Good.
God first. Guys, thank you very much for being here. We've had an exciting discussion. I know that this is going to be shared. I want to once again let you know that whenever the bell is rung and that date is announced, we are going to be covering on the election day elections in a very comprehensive way. unprecedented in Barbados, and you will see that roll out as time goes on. There are a few strategic partnerships, let me get that word right, strategic partnerships that we have made to make sure that you will be receiving unprecedented coverage. I'm telling you, this will be unlike anything Barbados has ever seen right here on Rosehill as we have the Barbados Election Watch 2018. Before we close, once again, Star Chick special offer still going on. The economy is hard. You want to get a $15 chicken.
Come on now.
Whole chicken, 2 packs of legs, $7.50, 2 packs of breast, $7.50, 4 packs of legs. What's this? That's right. 4 packs of legs, $15, 4 packs of breast, $15, 2 packs of thighs, $14, 3 packs of thighs, $18. You want to get that from Star Chick right there in St. Lucie. Go take the left, go down. When you get to the roundabout there by the St. Lucie Parish Church, just head on down as though you're going to the cement plant, and you take the right there by the Jehovah's Witness Church, and you're on the compound of Star Chick. It is an amazing operation right there, Mr. Clark doing amazing things. God bless you once again, guys. Thank you for an enlightening conversation. I had fun.
Thanks for having us.
I had fun.
I feel like you put me in the doghouse, but it's alright, man.
What dog?
Man.
If you were in the
man.
doghouse, we all went there with you. Listen, I'm gonna have a program where I just have you and we'll just talk.
Come on.
Yeah, you know, so that you know.
Unlimited time.
Unlimited time. Amen. Well, we pray. Our prayer as Christians here is that, you know, all of the opportunities, you know, that the young people need to have, they would have, because it's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible, and that's one of the points. And I really want to end on saying this. I know my producers back there saying your time is gone. Thanks for your patience, Rochelle. I think that I want to go back to this so that we be very, very clear. Natalie has to become an important conversation in Barbados. She has to become, not her past, but what she represents as a person who has, like Tyler, like Mark Adamson, who stands on the corner by Woolworth and sells socks. You know, all of them who have entered politics. Hamilton Lashley did the same thing. Entered politics because they see what is going on with the people. They don't enter politics because they want to make and feel it. Yeah, and they feel it, not because they want to make money. And she has to become a conversation to encourage people who have a heart for the people to enter politics, and there must be a place for them to touch the people with funds backing them. And once again, I would say, I believe that is a properly structured constituency council. We'll see how we can address the governance model of Barbados in another election. Guys, you're doing fantastic work in your areas. Continue to touch the youth. Imran, continue to touch the sex workers. Shamelle, continue to touch the guys on the block. Continue to touch the homeless. We pray. It's amazing that Christians are out front there doing what they have to do. We continue to do these things. And I want to say, last but not least, listen. Great things are possible with little. Look at what we are doing here. We're not waiting on CBC, we're not waiting on VOB, we're not waiting on big budget. I started this with nothing. We had no experience, right? And the guys in the back room, they learned. Take your phone out. Where is it? Take your phone out. And if you have to video yourself and put yourself on YouTube, do something. Let us hear your voice. We'll be coming at you soon anyhow. I'm going to be talking to you guys about a project I want to do. Take your phone out and video yourself and let your voice be heard in a forum called Facebook or YouTube, where nobody can silence you. Just don't be slanderous and get sued. You know, don't be like that. And I want to reference one person. Look at what Patrick King is doing. You think he could have done that on CBC or VOB? No. Facebook is an amazing opportunity for us to... Social media is an amazing opportunity for us. You know, get up, get yourself out there. If you can play guitar, and be like, what was the guy's name that was discovered on YouTube? I don't remember. Oh Lord, so many people. Justin Bieber. Right? Yes. Play, sing, do all these kind of things, and stop waiting for people to give you opportunities. The world is out there. You can do amazing things with a telephone.
Now that you say that, there are lots of Rihanna out there, and I have heard them.
Yes,
there are
and if I had the time,
out there,
I would sing. But our time is gone, and I agree with you. Video yourself and get going. and the Lord will open a way for you. I believe that. Guys, thanks for your patience. All the team in the back, thanks for your patience. I know I have you pulling out your hair. Thanks for your patience. God bless you guys. We will see you next week with another exciting program with exciting guests. Have a wonderful week. And this is Resurrection Weekend.
Amen.
Best holiday in the year. Here we celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Go to church this weekend, and may the Lord bless you. From all of us at Rosehill, we will see you next week.